three. Sorry, Lily. I had three people sign up. So the other two students aren't here. So, but we can get started if you want.
Yeah, we'll probably, the folks will trickle in and that's okay. So,
Okay.
well,
Yeah.
thank you everyone for joining us this afternoon. This is our Pásale time-sensitive academic advising session, specifically focused on students within the College of Education. And my name is Lily Pinedo Guienga. I'm the program director for the Chicanx Latinx Student Success Center. And I'm thrilled that you all could join us today. And I will actually be turning it over to Saul Ruiz, who is our Centro academic advisor liaison. And he will be sharing more information that's college specific. Some of you may have joined us for our conocimiento that was yesterday to get to know who the advisors are. But today is going to be specifically focused on those of you majoring within the College of Education or you're interested in majoring in the College of Education. There is very important time-sensitive information that Saul will be covering in this presentation, but then also talking a little bit more about what advising looks like within the Lurie College of Education. How do you schedule appointments? And then what's the purpose of advising? You know, San Jose State has a very complex advising community. There's major advisors, there's academic advisors, there's advisors within the college student success centers. We also have other advisors such as EOP, Career Center. So we have a very comprehensive advising community. And so it could be very confusing sometimes understanding who do you go for what kind of questions. And so I'm hoping that after today, those questions will be answered so that you all feel better equipped to progress with your academics and your journey here at San Jose State. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Saul, who will be leading the rest of this presentation. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Lily. So welcome to everyone here today. If at any moment you have any questions, feel free to stop me. You can either leave a chat or you can ask if you unmute yourself. Either works for me. So today I'm going to be focusing, like Lily said, on the Student Success Center, specifically for the College of Education. For those of you that do not know, there's 8 success centers across campus, and they're each paired up with a different school. So in this case, for the College of Education, our center is called Lurie College of Education. A lot of times we also just refer to it as LCOE. So if you see those letters or the name, it's referring to our success center. So a little bit about our center. We have a couple of staff, so I'm gonna kind of introduce who we are as a team. So first we have Janine Perez. She's a Student Success Center Director. She's been on campus for about 14 years. She was a faculty at one point, so she has extensive experience in the field of education or teaching. Another cool thing about Janine is that she was actually an undergraduate student and a graduate student in our programs. In the CHAD undergrad program and then the CHAD master's program. So if students are interested in that program specifically, we can always refer you to Janine and you guys can talk about experiences and what that program would entail. We also have Annie Nobuhiro. She's the Success Center Coordinator. Annie's also been at San Jose State for I think 15 plus years, and she's actually worked in every single department that we have in our college. Within the College of Education, we have about 7 or 8 departments. She's worked in every single department, so she really knows how everything connects. And she's a great resource, not only for campus, but also in the area. So definitely you can always reach out to her. And then my name is Saul Ruiz. I'm the Outreach and Recruitment Advisor. So specifically, apart from advising, which is the holistic, like what we focus on, I also help students with graduate program applications. And then we also have a new member. Her name is Francesca Teixeira. She is a graduation and retention specialist. So when students are put on probation for one reason or the other, typically students are sent to AARS, which is Academic Retention Services. However, in our college, when you are put on probation, we actually have internal services. So we actually pair you with a counselor. So in this case, Francesca, and she would work with you and develop a plan and step-by-step process to help you get out of probation and make sure you don't fall there again, but also support you with resources through the college as well as the community. So we do have a team. We also, like I mentioned, in our Success Center, our primary focus is academic advising. So students typically make their appointments via Spartan Connect. We also offer a lot of workshops specifically relating to student as holistically as a student. So that means that we do workshops on academics. We also do workshops on time management, stress management, just ways to practice a healthy living. We also do information and referrals. So we also work with a lot of school districts around the area. At San Jose State, we're fortunate enough to be in a location that is close to everything. So we work with a lot of different schools and districts around. So we have a lot of connections. So a lot of times students might want to do an internship. We can always refer to us come to us in the Success Center and we will refer you to someone in the community or a connection we already have. And last but not least, if you haven't visited our center before, we actually have a good, decent amount of space. We like to say we have the best hangout space in our center, or of all the Success Centers. We have, like I said, we have a great space dedicated for students to go hang out, do their homework, watch Netflix. We always have coffee and snacks. So when we're able to go back in person, I welcome you to join us whenever you guys want. It's an open space. Anyone can come into our center. All we ask is when you come in, you just put your ID number. That way we can track to see what students are coming in. And that's also how we get more resources for the center. Besides our staff, we also incorporate students in our college. Like I said, our college has a lot of different programs, and we want to be resourceful with those programs. So that what that means is that we want to use students in all those programs and help them start their career. For example, we have a counselor education program. So Brittany Kurtner, she's actually a student in the graduate program, and she's actually helping us in the Success Center as a grad assistant and gain experience in a counseling setting. So we like to do that a lot in our center. We like to help and put you in spaces that will help you grow academically, personally, and career-wise. And then Alina Torres and Maritza Ortiz, they're actually freshmen. They're new this year to our team. So we're gonna start working with them this semester. I think they're both freshmen in Chad. We call it Chad, one of our majors. And they're also gonna be joining us in some workshops. They're gonna be working with Brittany, and they're also gonna be doing a lot of the social media engagement components. So if you ever see any of our posts online, it's gonna be one of them too, working and doing that. And then other services that we also offer, if in case you need to meet with one of us, is one of the departments that we offer in our college is CHAD, which I'll talk about in a moment. The CHAD department itself also holds virtual office hours every Tuesday and Thursday. So it's almost like a virtual drop-in. You don't have to sign up. As long as it's Tuesday or Thursday between 11 and 12, you just have to click the link and you can actually talk face-to-face with a staff member or an admin from CHAD. And they can also help you with any forms, petitions, any academic stuff related to your major or resources you need. They can also help you. And then we also have CHAD specific major advisors. The cool thing about these advisors, Terry and Laura, is that they teach in the field and they also kind of do the journey of college with you. What I mean by that is when you start as a freshman or a transfer, you're encouraged to go meet with them because they're teachers in the field. And if you're looking at their career specifically and something that they've done, they can always connect you to resources, but they can also be a mentor for you. And specifically when you become a senior, you actually have to meet with the CHAD major advisor because they do a graduation work list and they make sure that everything you've done will count, or if there needs to be any adjustments, they do all that stuff. So an easier way to remember as well is usually just go to the Success Center for anything, any questions you have. And if it's not with us, we will make sure to refer you to the right person. We don't want you to like go and, keep getting passed around like, okay, it's not here, go here, go here. We'd rather you come to us and then we'll make sure that you go to the right person. So let's talk about some stuff that advisors can help you with. So whenever you meet with one of us, this is the kind of stuff that we can talk to you about. This is what we focus on, but it's not entirely what we do. We can do more than this, but as an academic advisor, these are our main responsibilities. So some things that I can help you with is if you want to do academic planning or advising, if you're a CHAD major, so it stands for Child and Adolescent Development, or CDNS. CDNS is Communicative Disorders and Sciences. And again, I'll talk about more in depth in the next slide. But if you're one of those two majors or planning on being one of those two majors, I can help you do the plan, the roadmap of classes. I can also help you change into the major, one of the two in our college. Another thing too is that we offer a lot of minors within our college. I'll talk about those also later on. But if you want to declare one of those minors, typically you have to do it through the College Success Center. So if you want to do one of our minors, you would meet with me and I would help you fill that petition online. It's a little complicated because it's actually through a system called DocuSign. So I make sure to help you and we do it together so that you learn how to do it, but also to make sure in case you have to in the future, you know exactly where to go. Another thing too is that, like I mentioned, in our college, we're small in that we only offer 2 undergraduate majors, but in terms of graduate school and post bachelorette programs, we actually offer the most out of all the colleges on campus. We offer about 6 master degrees, 8 credential programs, a couple authorization specialization certificates, and then we also offer a doctorate program. So what that means is that we actually have our own admissions process. So if you're interested in applying to one of our many graduate programs, I can also help you with that. I would meet with you. We would go over the requirements. I would send you to one of the info sessions. We would learn more about what to do. And then as you're applying, I also hold open house application labs every month. So I can actually help you fill the application itself. So we make sure in our college to help you from beginning to end and even further. We want to make sure that you're comfortable along the way, but you're also learning the process. So we're really intentional in that to make sure we guide you. And like I mentioned, we have open houses, application labs monthly. What this means is that you don't have to wait until you're a senior to start thinking about graduate school. It's actually better to start thinking about it earlier. Even if you're not sure where you want to study, it's always good to like go to information session just to learn the basics about like, okay, this is like the main requirement, right? Like I have to take this test. I have to get a specific GPA. Just learning that information will help you so that when you are ready to apply to a program, you have all that information clear, because it does change over time. And that's why we have these open house application labs. There's spaces for us to help you with the application itself. And like I mentioned in our center, we have a lot of different mentors and staff and students that we work with. And our main goal is that we do something called academic advising from a holistic perspective. So we like to use the holistic advising model. And as you can see from the screen, what the holistic advising model is that we understand that as a student, you have different identities, right? You're not just a student, you have a family, you're a brother, a sister, maybe you have kids, you have other responsibilities outside of school. And we want to make sure we help you, not just academically, but as a person. So what that means is that we really want to help you in a physical space, in a social space, emotional space, and cognitive space. So every time you meet with us, we always want to check in these areas and make sure that everything's going okay. Because research always says that a lot of times students face uncertainties outside of school, not related to academics. So we want to make sure that we understand that and help you, because if you're not well as a person, you can't really thrive in school. So we want to make sure you're taken care of first. So we, like I said, we focus on a holistic model. And some of the ways that we actually carry this out is, for example, we'll host workshops on how, on like stress management, on how to do better in a virtual environment. We have a lot of new workshops this semester about how to engage students and how to help keep you engaged within the academics, because it's very trying times right now. And it's new to all of us, right? As a student, it's the first time you're going to school fully online. As a staff member, it's the first time we're doing the same thing. So we're learning together. So that's why we want to do a lot of workshops to aid you and support you. And we also have where you can actually share your feedback. So whenever we do a workshop, we always ask for feedback. And we also ask students to give us like examples of what they will want to see. So we always offer and tailor these workshops specifically to what the students are asking for. So we don't go out there and like say we want to do this. We always make sure to include the student in their conversation so that we're helping you and making sure we're a service to you in all these categories. And again, I know something that Lily mentioned yesterday that really resonated with me is that as advisors, a lot of times students might think that we're just there to help you academically. We also can help you grow as a person. We were once students as well. We know what it's like to be a student. We know like how intense and stressful it can be at times. So you can always talk to us about other stuff as well, right? Like, how did you apply for scholarship? What was some things that you were involved in? Simple questions like that when you meet with an advisor or a staff or faculty will help you, because you'll get to learn about other people's experiences, and maybe you'll learn something that you didn't know existed and that could benefit you, right? So it's just like by word of mouth passing information. So always know that we're here to help you in any form we can help you. It doesn't have to be just academically. We can also help you with for your resume, applications, if you want to apply for a job. Like, we'll go that extra mile to make sure that you're being helped all the way. And then a lot of times students ask, how many times can I meet with an advisor? It's actually up to you. You can meet as many times as you like. We're there to help you. Like I said, if you want to meet once a semester or every 2 weeks, once a month, whatever works for you best, we'll help you. But typically, if you're not really big on meeting with staff members, I always say at least come once a semester. That way we can at least help you out with just the basics. Even if you don't have a lot of specific questions, as long as you meet, we just want to make sure you're on the right track. Because like I said, things do change from semester or week to week. And we want to make sure you understand of the updates as well, so that it doesn't affect you later on. So like I mentioned, in our center, we do a holistic advising model. Another way we carry this out is we actually offer this program. It's called the Promise Group. So if you are a student in our college, either a CHAD major or CDNS major, or you're a first-gen student, you're part of EOPS, you're part of the DocuSpartan Resource Center, or you're part of the honors program, you can actually be part of this program that's called the Lurie College Honors Group. And what it is that it's a combination of a club and a class. So it's a class in that you actually get 2 units of college credit for it. So it counts towards any credit. And you can take this class up to 4 years. I believe the class is about 2 units. And again, it goes towards credit, so it counts. And then this, how the class is set up is that you meet every other Friday for about an hour and a half. And you not only are a club and you have mentors, you actually get your own mentors. So every single student in the club gets paired up with the faculty or staff from our college who at least has 3 or more years of experience in the college. That means that it's another way for you to have like a personal mentor, a personal guidance person, just to help you with anything else. And then how this works is that you meet with everyone in the club and the class every other Friday, and then you meet with your mentor as much as you like. And every meeting, the mentors come, and sometimes they don't, but every single meeting, there's a new theme or activity, so you're always exploring different ways. And like I mentioned, you're not just exploring academics, you're also exploring how to grow as a person, right? How to manage the stress, how to think about future decisions. So this group really does help you aid you in just growing as a person as a whole. And a lot of these students, like I said, they're students in our college, so you get mixed with freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors. So there's a lot of diversity and a lot of different experiences. So you also get to connect with other students and also learn, right? And when you feel more connected to campus, it's also proven scientifically that you'll do better, right? So we want to make sure that you are aware of all these resources and really take advantage of them, because they really are there to help you and make you grow. And we also have more clubs. This is not the only one. We have about 5 or 6 clubs. But again, I invite you guys to go to our website. The link's right here, and I'll go to it afterwards as well. But we really just want you to know that there's clubs there to assist you in all aspects of life. So now we're going to get to the actual academics. I've been mentioning a lot that our college is small. And what I mean by that is that we only offer 2 undergraduate majors. Most other colleges typically have 4, 5, or 6. We only offer 2. So what are those exact majors and what can you do with them? So the first one, we like to call it CHAD. In our college, we like to shorten everything. We use a lot of acronyms. But CHAD, or when you hear CHAD, we're referring to Child and Adolescent Development. Essentially, what this field or this study is that you really are studying the development of a child from the different stages of birth to childhood to adolescenthood. So you really are focused on those 3 stages of life. So you get to learn about how children grow as like when they're born, to become children, to become teenagers. So you get to explore all those different types of foundations that you go through and all the different changes that a student or a child might go through. So it's kind of cool because you get to learn, and then when you have kids in the future, if you have kids, you can actually get to see like everything you learn in person, right? It's kind of cool. And what this field does is that it's an excellent foundation for future careers. If you're interested in maybe becoming a teacher, so elementary education, being a teacher, early childhood practice and policy. What this means is that a lot of times students also, they don't see themselves as teachers, but they still want to work with students and children. So another way is if you want to become your own director, or you want to direct your own childcare or child service place, you can also do this major, and it can also aid you in helping you because you get to learn about how students grow, right? And you get to support students at an early age. And the last other career that you can go into is if you know you don't want to be a teacher, but you still want to stay in education, there's many different routes that you can go into, right? So another one is, we call it community-based organizations. So you can go into social work. You can go to being a school psychologist, becoming an academic counselor, being a speech pathologist, working with students and nonprofits. So it's really very broad in terms of what you can do with it, but we really teach you the foundation of how students grow and develop over time to help you in these positions. And like I mentioned, we actually offer all these programs. So we actually offer teaching programs, counseling programs. We do have a social work college in our school, and we also have occupational therapy programs, or we can also help you with those careers. So the first one is CHAD. The second major is Communicative Disorders and Sciences, and we just call it CDNS for short. It's so much easier to say. And really what CDNS is, it's a medical field. The reason why I say it's a medical field is because really CDNS is set up for you to work in the medical field, either as an audiologist or a speech pathologist. So what this field is, in a nutshell, is that you're really studying and helping students who have speech disabilities or swallow disabilities or throat disabilities. So you really are a doctor focusing on this part of the human anatomy, right? It's like the esophagus area, and you really focus on this alone. So it is like a med school because you have to take all the bios, all the chemistries, all the physics, all that series. So you really have to know all the sciences. And then once you are a CDNS major in undergrad, you get to learn about the tools. And we actually offer our own clinic in our campus. So once campus is open again and you're part of this program, if you like, you actually get to work with clients in the community in our labs. So you're actually getting hands-on first experience within school. You don't actually have to leave class. And that's a class that everyone takes. So you get to learn to really make sure is it if you want to go into this field or not. And like I mentioned, it's a medical field for students who want to become speech language pathologists. So helping students communicate that really can't communicate or can't really talk or swallow. Audiology, so students that maybe are deaf or can't hear, you also become an audiologist, a doctor for audiology. It's also a great career if you want to work in special education. We have different pathways within special education depending on the severity of the disabilities. So it's another great career trajectory towards special education. Also, if you want to go into public health, I mean, again, you're learning about the child in a medical field perspective. So a lot of times students might want to become public health officers or be directors of a hospital, and also other healthcare professions. A lot of times students also want to become a pediatrician. So specifically a doctor for toddlers and infants. Or I've also seen students go into occupational therapy or become physician assistants. So like I said, it's a very medical field. There's a lot of different careers you can go about it. So just know that it's not what the name is. There's a lot more to it. So always kind of look into each major and make sure that you understand the different routes. And then, like I mentioned, we are a big college in graduate studies. So this is kind of just an overview of all the different programs. It's a lot of information. I'm not going to go into each specifically, but I kind of just wanted to show you all a picture so you guys can see what I'm referring to. And I kind of labeled it by different areas. So the left side right here, teacher credentials. Like I mentioned, we have teacher programs if you want to become a teacher. We offer if you want to teach kindergarten through 6th grade. We also offer a Spanish bilingual authorization. What this means is that it's not equipped for you to become a Spanish teacher. It's equipped more if you want to become a teacher in a dual enrollment school. So San Jose has, I know for sure for a fact, they have at least 5 or more dual enrollment schools where students are actually going through K through 6 and actually learning an environment where they're learning Spanish and English. So they might have history, math, and Spanish in the morning and then have literature and art in the afternoon in English. So every day there's a new schedule and they're learning 2 different languages. So it's a really cool a way to be a different kind of teacher in a different environment. So we offer that route. And then we have 2 other ones. We call it, so this one that I mentioned right now is called multiple subject credential. So you're learning multiple subjects because you're teaching younger kids. Single subject credential is really to teach older kids. So really a middle school and high school. And single subject, you're going to focus on the subject you want to teach. So if you want to teach history, you would get a single subject credential, and then the focus would be history. So whatever subject you want to teach, you would do a lot of your studies around that subject. And then the last one we have within teacher education is special education. And like I mentioned, there's different routes depending on how severe the disability of the population of students you're going to work with. So we have different routes prepared for which population you want to work with. And then all these credentials also have a master's component. So the difference between a master and a credential is that a credential only takes a year to complete. A master's is always 2 years minimum. So we do offer the option if you want to stay and get your master's. The reason why we push for master's is because in the long run, having a master's does help you in the point in that when you apply for jobs, you actually have more jobs to choose from. Because again, a credential will only let you teach in these areas, but having the master's degree will also allow you to teach at the college level. That's the minimum requirement. So a lot of times students want to have more options of where they want to teach. So having the master's amplifies those options. And also it tends to lead in terms of more pay over your lifetime. So that's also another incentive for students to pursue the master's. And then these right here, the middle section, we have 2, a master's in CHAD. So again, like I mentioned, child and adolescent development is one of our majors. It's really focused on studying the different stages of a human. If you want to learn more in depth about that at a higher level, you would pursue the master's in Chad. And the cool thing about this specific program is that you can also teach these same Chad classes you were learning. You can also teach to other students at the community college level or the college level. Having the master's degree facilitates and allows you to work at the college level. We also, I mentioned, we have a program for academic counseling. So if you want to become a counselor at any level, between kindergarten all the way through college or higher, we have a program called Counseling and Guidance. And then the PPS credential allows you to work specifically in K through 12. Again, the credential is needed for K through 12 specific age. And then the master's always allows you to work at the college level. So having both together allows you to have more options when you apply for jobs, and that you can be a counselor anywhere from kindergarten through college, opposed to being stuck in the K through 12 system only. So we always want to make sure students know their options and really pick an option that's really focused and it's going to help them in terms of their future goals and what is it they want to be and what they want to do. And then on the right side, like I mentioned, speech pathology, CDNS, the graduate level program for that would be the speech pathology master's program. We also, it is needed to be a speech pathologist. So if you do want to be a speech pathologist or audiologist, to have that specific title, you do need to have this program. And we also offer this program in our college. The last two are more focused on leadership. So the main difference, the easiest ways to learn these, because they're so similar, is that the MA in emancipatory leadership is really focused if you want to work as an admin. So you making the decisions, you leading anywhere between kindergarten and 12th grade specifically. So some roles can look like being a principal, being a vice principal, working for the Office of Education, working for the school district. So really working in terms of helping kindergarten through 12th grade age students. The other program, the EDD in educational leadership, again, it's if you want to be a leader. This is a more elevated degree in that it's a doctorate level degree. But this one, again, is focused if you want to be a leader anywhere between pre-K all the way through college and above. So this one doesn't really limit you in the different positions. A lot of the students that pursue this specific program, they have goals of becoming maybe a college dean, maybe becoming a college president, maybe becoming a superintendent, or working really high up in student affairs, maybe as a VP, as a president. So if you really want to be up there leading and making all the executive decisions, kind of like being a CEO in other fields, this is another program you would want to kind of focus on. So those are all the programs we have. Is there any questions on any of the programs I mentioned so far before I shift focus? No? We're good? Okay. So the next thing I actually want to show you all is, sorry, let me just make this, let me move this. Sorry. Okay, yeah. So the next things I want to go over are some important dates and deadlines. And these dates and deadlines pertain to the whole campus as a whole. We really do look out a lot for the dates and deadlines and use the fall register calendar. And we really do put a lot of our workshops and events around deadlines to make sure you have enough time to do any forms of petitions. But the ones I'm going to go over today, they're all on the register's website. But these are the most important ones students should know based on our college as a whole. So the first date is Monday, August 31st. That is going to be the last day you can drop any class you have without a W. And what this means is that as a student, you don't really want to have a W. A W means that you drop the class past the deadline. And it's still proven, it's still approved. However, you get a W on your transcript. A W is not a good thing to have on your transcript. You don't want to have, the rule is you cannot have more than 3, but you really don't want to have 1. If you have 1, it happens, it's okay. But really what a W does is that when you calculate your GPA, they kind of calculate it as an F. So it does affect that in that terms. So really kind of try not to have a W, but if you do have one, like I said, it's okay. Just remember the 3 tally rule. You don't want to have 3. And if you do, it gets to that point, just talk to an advisor and we will help you and make sure you figure everything out. Monday, August 31st is also the last day to move from full-time to part-time status and reduce your tuition. If you do not make this change, you can be stuck paying full-time tuition being a part-time student. And how it works at San Jose State is that it goes by number of units, not by number of classes. So really important to look more into that. And if you have questions about this, again, feel free to reach out to any of the counselors and we can help you out. The next important day is Tuesday, September 8th. This is going to be the last day to add any course. If you got an ad code from a professor or you want to change your schedule around and change classes with times, Tuesday, September 8th will be the last day you're able to do this. After this date, you would only are able to drop classes if you have a petition for a specific reason. So for anything else, the last day is Tuesday, September 8th. It's in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. So you still have time to make any adjustments to your schedule. And then the last day to drop or submit a late drop or withdrawal petition to ARS is Friday, November 13th. Again, if you have to drop a class anytime after September 8th for whatever reason, you want to make sure you come to an advisor so we can fill out a specific form petition and we can submit it to the specific department so that it does not work against you, right? We don't want anything to affect you. We want it to help you. So just know those are really important dates. And San Jose State is very strict on dates. That's something that they're not really lenient on. So when they have a date, they really do stick to it. So like I said, if you have any questions, just come to an advisor first, and we will make sure we do everything we need to do on time. So late drop. So what happens if you drop a course after the deadline? So after August 31st, which is next week, if you have to drop a class, it has to be because of an extenuating circumstance. And some of these circumstances that are highlighted on the website are if there's a personal health or family illness, immediate death in the family, if you have to go to active military due to you or your spouse or someone in your family, if you're going through a divorce, or if something happens with your employment that's out of your control. If it's one of these reasons, they will accept the petition and you can get the class drop with no penalty and with no W. However, if it's not one of these reasons, there's other petitions that you can still fill out, but it will count against you in other areas. Like I mentioned, there's different rules for different petitions, but just know that if you do need to drop it after this date and one of these reasons or any extenuating circumstance happens, let us know so we can fill out the appropriate paperwork so you can have a leave of absence and be excused and not have to worry about anything. How do you request a late drop? Again, make an appointment with the Student Success Center advisor for your major. We will help you review the petition and also get the appropriate signatures required. Especially right now, since campus is closed, everything has to be online. So we use DocuSign to make sure everyone signs that has to sign. And that way you don't have to go and send specific emails. It's just, we help you do it. So you click it once and it sends to everyone. We also have to let your instructor know, the advisor know, or get any other signatures. And as well, we also have to include a personal statement and also your unofficial transcript. So we help you get that and also help you make sure the personal statement is revised so that it does get accepted. Because sometimes it can happen where it might get denied because of some error. We just want to make sure there's no error so that it will get accepted. Another, like I mentioned, there's a lot of different people you can connect with. We have advisors, counselors, students, staff members. So just so you all know about our hours for the fall semester is that we are open Monday through Thursday virtually from 8 to 6, and on Fridays we usually close at noon. But again, if you ever have any questions and you don't know who to go to for a specific question, just always feel free to email our account. The Lurie College Student Success Center is actually an email that we have for our center. And between the 4 of us that I mentioned in the beginning, we check this daily. So one of us will answer your email by the end of the day. So that's a great way for us to make sure we don't miss you. Or you can also email us individually. I will go back to the page where we have everyone's emails, so you can also write those down. We also are very, we also do use our social media accounts a lot. We have an Instagram account, a Twitter account, a Facebook account. It's all the same name, Lurie Success. The reason why we're telling you about this is because we have so many workshops every day. At least a week, we offer 4 to 5 at least workshops a week. So to make sure you can attend all these workshops, if you just follow us on social media, we post all the events and all the RSVP links on our website, on our story. So you just have to swipe up and put your information, and then you're already automatically enrolled for the workshop, and you'll get the Zoom link sent directly to you. So that's a great way for you not to miss any events happening in our center or across campus. We like to share resources from all different centers as well. And also we have something new we're trying this semester. It's called Share Your Feedback with Us. So if you visit our website, we actually, like I mentioned, we want to work with you and we want you to be part of the conversation. So whatever needs you have, if there's a specific workshop you want us to put on for you or specific resources you need, let us know. And we check this every day. Again, it alerts us and we'll help you with whatever needs you have. We'll make sure to help you or give you the resources that are adequate. Again, like I mentioned, why should you join our college? Going to college, you know, it's an experience, it's a journey. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn if you like the major or not by having the different classes. But again, our major, really, what we strive for and what the college's mission is from the College of Education is that we really want to prepare transformative educators, counselors, therapists, school and community leaders. A lot of times, students think that education just means being a teacher, but education is a field so much more than that. There's different careers, like I mentioned, counseling, school therapist. You can even be, like I said, a doctor in an educational field, right? So there's so many opportunities and so many jobs out there that are that you might not have known about. But I hope you learned something about today. And if you ever have any questions or follow up on these careers, like I said, you're welcome to talk to one of us. I can always give you the information I have. We can also connect you with either our faculty or staff who have experience in these fields or these majors, and they can also talk about things about you more in depth. And really what we always strive for is if you want to make a difference in the next generation, we always like to say, you know, come join our college. Like I mentioned, there's a lot of different opportunities and different ways you can make change in your community. And we really do try to explore that. And we like to work side by side with students so that we can all work together and make sure that we help and give students all the resources that they need. And I think the last one is I'm going to show you some online resources on our website, because our website has so many different resources. So I want to kind of show you some important ones that you might have, and then any last minute questions that you guys have at the end. So this is the link to our website. If you're not ever sure, as long as you type in sjsu.edu/education, it will take you to this page. Or just type in SJSU education, it'll take you to our website. So some resources we have our own tab for the Student Success Center. So we have, if you want to make an advising appointment, there's directions on this link. We have events like Admitted Spartan Day. We always want to involve our students. So we always have any events that we want students to participate in. We'll also have links for that, right? If you need any equipment, campus and community resources, there's a lot of different resources on campus. This page does a great job of summarizing every single success in our campus, what they do, and how to make an appointment. Everything is linked here for you. So make sure you visit this specific one. That's really, really helpful. We also have financial aid opportunities. So we have our own scholarships within our college that we offer. So if you visit this website, it will tell you everything you need to know. It will include the website and how to apply, or also it will tell you when the deadline is if it already passed. And then we also have, like I mentioned, a lot of different clubs on campus, a lot of different resources. We have our own page of the clubs that pertain specifically to our college, but just know that there's a lot other clubs on campus, but you just have a different option. So just know and make sure you explore your options. And then another one we have is test prep resources. So if you're thinking about going to graduate school, there's going to be some sort of test required for any program you want to go into. What we did is that we put all of those different tests and we actually put it on the website with their link to resources so you learn more about them. So some specific common tests are like the CBEST. It's a general exam for grad school. Some programs might include the CSET. This is specific to teaching. Most programs include the GRE, another specific general exam for entrance to exam for grad school. There's also a practice test, and there's also a RECA exam. So if you ever need to study for any of these exams, for any program, go ahead and click on the link. It'll actually take you to the page of the test, because these tests are all proctored by the state. So you have to make an account, right? So these all take you to the website. And just an example for the CBEST, it'll actually give you the examples of the practice exam. So you can actually practice before you take the exam and you know what's going to be on the exam. This tells you all the format. So feel free to use these resources or share them with anyone you see fit to that might need them. But just know that any test that you might need, we have resources online and they're all free. You don't have to pay for them. You just have to click the link. So that's some resources. And then the last thing is, like I mentioned, we offer a lot of different workshops, at least 4 to 5 a week. So if you go again to our Success Center, to the top page, we actually have a calendar of events. So all the events that are happening every day, as you can see, all you have to do is click on it and it'll give you the link. The Zoom link is there, or if there's more details in case you have to register, it'll all be on the calendar. So as long as you pick the day or time, you can see what's happening. And we also post all these events on our Instagram, so you can see every day what's going to happen hour by hour. But also, if you're ever curious about what's going to happen in the future, we update this every week. and we will let you know what events are happening specific to our students or resources that might help students in our college. So feel free to check that out and explore the resources. And that's all I have. Is there any questions that any of you have or anything you want me to clarify? While you guys think of some questions, I am going to return to the page where it has my information. So if you guys have any further questions, you can always have my email or the email of any of my colleagues. So I'm going to leave it on this page. And yeah, if anyone has any questions, I can definitely help you out.
Thank you, Saul, for that very timely and informative session. I do have a question, and I may have missed it, but can you tell us more about the extended wait list?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So in our college, it works a little bit differently. So let me go back to this page. So students who are in the major of CHAD, what we do is that we actually offer 4 different concentrations within CHAD. So like right here, there's a different pathway. So we have a pathway if you want to become a teacher. We have a pathway if you want to work specifically with toddler age students, age 5 or younger. It's called early childhood focus. And then the last path we have is called community focus. So if you want to not be a teacher, but become a speech pathologist, a counselor, a social worker. So based off the pathway you choose, you have specific classes you need to take. So in our college, if you're a CHAD major, no CHAD major takes the same classes. It's all based off the roadmap. So every semester we offer enough classes to fill sections without them overlapping. So again, every specific, let me actually show you all what I refer to, because we actually use this resource a lot. So San Jose State has something called SCSU roadmaps. Some colleges use this, some do not. In our college, we use these a lot. So if you visit this website, just make sure you click the correct date, because the year, because there is one for every year. So this year it's 20/21. So every single major at San Jose State is listed here. You can go alphabetical order or scroll down. Again, not every major uses this. In our major, we do. So if you're part of our major or thinking about becoming one of our majors, I'm giving you the go ahead to you can use this resource. So this is what I was referring to. We have different pathways depending on what you want to do, right? So community focus is if you will not want to be a teacher but work in any other field related to students and families. Early childhood focus, students age 5 or younger, and then prep for teach. The one you want to choose is this one because it has the CSET waiver. So like I mentioned, every graduate program will require a specific exam. Some require multiple exams, some require one. If you want to become a teacher, you need to take the CSET exam and the CBEST. But to save yourself time, if you do the CSET pathway, if you choose this pathway, essentially the classes you're taking when this roadmap opens. So if you notice, there's some classes that have 2 asterisks. And then if you go down to the bottom, it will tell you in the bottom that these are CSET waiver course tasks, and it has 2 asterisks. So what that means is that these classes, there's a total of 12. As long as you take these classes and follow this roadmap exactly how it is, you will be excused from that exam. It's cool because that exam alone is 3 parts, part 1, part 2, part 3. Each part is 3 hours. And if you fail one of the parts, you have to wait 45 days to retake it. So instead of having to go and study through that test, one option is if you pick this pathway and you take these classes, it would excuse you. And again, the other 2 pathways have other classes. So it looks the same. Instead of having a specific class, it will just give you an option. So sometimes it'll tell you like for area section E, you got to take CHAD 60. But then for this area C2, it's any GE, right? So that means that you can choose any class. And then when you meet with an advisor, we go over what those classes are. But essentially for CHAD, none of the classes cross. So there's never really a wait list because everyone's taking different classes. The other major we have, communicative resources and sciences, we use what's called block schedule. So if you are a CDNS major, we actually block you into these classes. So students outside this major cannot take these classes. That's why if you want to become in this major, you have to either apply directly to it or change majors and meet with an advisor so we can go over what the requirements are, because there are some classes you need to take first before you can fully enroll in the major. And again, this major is blocked. So every semester when you have to log in, sign up for classes, the department will send you your own schedule and it will tell you what classes you need to sign up for, and it will give you the ad codes. Because again, they're blocked for everyone else, but with that ad code, you can actually add the class. So every semester, you get the classes you need. And this also helps us because every semester there's different classes offered. The same classes are not offered every semester. There's classes offered only in the fall, and there's classes offered only in the spring. Having that ad code and blocking you those schedules, there's different pathways, right? If you start late, we'll put you on this pathway. If you're on time, if you're following the plans correctly, we'll put you on this pathway. So depending on where you are and what classes you've taken, we put you on a track, but all the classes are saved for you. So every time you register, we give you the ad code, and you don't have to, there's no wait list, and you don't have to fight for classes essentially. So that's the cool thing about our college, is that it's so small that we can actually are able to do this and put students in classes without having them stay longer or repeat a class. I hope that answered the question that you had, Lily.
Thank you, Saul.
Yeah.
So at this time, we'll go ahead and stop recording. And